When I was a kid, I was just chilling, minding my business, vibing with my toys. Then out of nowhere, my dad walks in.
We need to talk.
I already knew what that meant. My heart started racing like I was in trouble with the FBI. What you want to talk about, Daddy?
Boy, you're too old to be calling me daddy. And look at this room. I mean, look at it. This don't make no sense.
I mean, it is my room. I like it this way.
Oh, you think this is your room? Let me show you where your room is.
Next thing I know, I'm on punishment in the bathroom.
You're gonna stay in here until you know how to keep my room clean.
So now I'm sitting on the bathroom floor, just me and a roll of toilet paper, trying to figure out how I got here. But after 5 minutes of boredom, my imagination kicks in. Oh, I was up in there fighting dragons, beating up pirates, just having the time of my life.
What is that boy doing? Hey, you better not be having no fun in here.
No, Dad, I was just thinking about how good I'm gonna clean your room.
Oh, well, I'm glad you see things my way now. Get out of here, boy.
That's when I learned punishment isn't always bad if you got an imagination strong enough to survive it. When I was a kid, my dad turned me, my brothers, and our cousin to a boy band. But there was one problem. We couldn't dance.
One more time, y'all, and don't mess up.
You pull up looking like you know this time. Every little thing you do, perfect time. Ain't got a flex, you just move like that. Everybody watching when you move like that. You got that flavor, girl, that's all yours. Sweet like Sunday out the corner store. One look and I'm already stuck. You hit my veins, now I'm wide up. And oh, you're just like candy. Your love gives me that sugar rush. Girl, I need it. Hey, I'm so addicted. No, you never bitter. You're sweet just like a Twizzler, my love. Ooh, I need you. There's nothing realer.
Y'all can do better than that. One more time.
So growing up, my dad had one rule.
If you use my tools, put them back.
Why is he yelling? And I heard him. I just didn't do it. See, I borrowed a screwdriver to fix something, then forget it on the porch. Use a wrench for absolutely no reason, then leave it in the grass like evidence.
You deserve a whooping.
So one day, my dad goes to change a light switch. He reaches for his tool chest like,
Let me grab my pliers real quick.
he opens the drawer and not one plier was in there.
Jasmine, where are my tools?
Which ones? That made it worse. Now he's running around the whole house doing a scavenger hunt he didn't sign up for. Found the hammer in my book bag, found the screwdriver in the bathroom, found the tape measure in the fridge.
In the fridge?
Still don't know how that happened. By the time he found the pliers, he forgot what he was fixing. He just looked at me like,
Boy, just stay out of my toolbox.
and I did.
No, you didn't.
Well, for a little while. My 2-year-old daughter, Kaylani, is definitely taking after my love of drums. But the problem is, Kate and Destiny and I can't do anything around the house. Whether we're trying to study, watch TV, or just relax, the drums are so loud, it's impossible to focus. Destiny tells me I need to do something about all the noise. So I decide to bring home these special drum heads that are supposed to be a lot quieter. I reach into my drumstick bag to grab my drum key so I can swap the drum heads, but it's not there. So I start searching the whole house. I check the laundry room, every drawer in the kitchen, even the garage, but still no drum key. Not giving up, I hop in the car and head to the music store. I ask if they have any drum keys in stock, but they're all sold out. So I had no choice but to head back home and grab some pliers to unscrew the bolts. It's slow and frustrating, but I finally get the new drum heads on. Right after Kaylani runs into the room holding something shiny. And wouldn't you know, it's the drum key. She had it the whole time. While I was cleaning the pool, my dog Snoop spotted an iguana.
Hey, what you doing in my pool?
I don't want no problems. I'm just trying to take a bath, man.
I don't want you in here. Get out of here. Leave my pool. Get you. Yeah, this is my dog. Get out of here.
I ain't going nowhere. This is my house now.
What you say? You won't pay for that. What's up? Get on. What's your tail? What's your tail? Come here. Get on back. What now? Come on. Yeah, you ain't got nowhere to go. Wait, there you go. What's up? Yeah. This ain't over. Hold on. Just give me a second. I gotta catch my breath. Say that to my face. I dare you to say that to my back.
Oh, you look.
You did it now. Wow.
Just let me
Go
go.
green. Yeah, get down here. What's up?
What?
I got your head. Yeah, you ain't like that. What's up?
So for as long as I can remember, my grandpa had the nicest lawn in the town. Everyone knew not to step on it, or else. The family knew, the mailman knew, even animals knew to stay off his lawn. One day, I started riding my brand new bike to my grandparents' house because my friends lived near there. I was pedaling really fast, and as I was approaching the house, I realized the brakes were too hard to press and I couldn't stop. My bike rolled right into the middle of my grandpa's lawn, and my heart dropped.
The whole neighborhood got silent and was staring at me. No one has ever made it to the middle of the lawn, and they wanted to see what was about to happen.
All of a sudden, my feet were in the air. I looked up, my grandpa had both of my hands in one of his hands.
No, Grandpa, no, I'm sorry.
He whooped me so bad in front of everyone, no one has been on his lawn since. So my grandpa was a very serious man who was always protective of his lawn. He had a strict rule that nobody was allowed on it under any circumstances. A dog was chasing me one time and I got caught because I wouldn't step on his grass. Stepping on his grass meant consequences, and no one wanted any trouble with my grandpa. Well, during winter, my grandpa pours hot water over his lawn every hour to keep the grass alive. I asked him if I could do it for some money, and he said, yeah. As he was walking into the house, he added, just one more thing before I go. You better keep your feet off my lawn. I was stunned. How was I going to water his whole lawn without walking on it? By attaching a bucket on the end of a pool pole. But there was one problem. The bucket was too heavy and it fell on his lawn. I had no choice now but to step on his grass to get the bucket. I looked around and made sure my grandpa was out of sight, and I started walking on his grass. I could feel my neighbors staring at me, because at any moment, we all knew my grandpa something hit me and I couldn't see where it came from, but I knew it was my grandpa. He was moving so fast, some people said it looked like a ghost was spanking me. I was really upset because every morning I catch my son playing Fortnite instead of doing his homeschool work. This was my 7th warning, so I had to take action. First, I tried putting a passcode on his TV, but he somehow figured out a way around it. Next, I hit his remote control, but then I remembered he had a second one. So I took that remote too, thinking I finally had him cornered. A few minutes later, I checked on him and saw he was working on his school assignments. But then I noticed he was having way too much fun. He's never enjoyed schoolwork this much. When I got closer, I realized he was playing Fortnite on his laptop. I snatched the laptop and installed a blocker so he couldn't play any games. I told him to get back to work. When I came back to check on him, his head was down like he was sleeping. I walked over to wake him up and found him playing Fortnite on his phone instead. At that point, I'd had enough. I grabbed a hammer and smashed his devices. I told him to get back to work, but then I realized he couldn't because I just smashed his laptop. So I was just munching on my hot Cheetos with mayo snack when I realized it was April Fool's Day. My son Caden has pranked me like a zillion times, so I decided to plan the ultimate revenge while he was at school. First, I taped a bunch of popsicle sticks to the top of the garage door. Next, I taped the container to the door and rigged it so it would spill when the door opened. Lastly, I filled the container with Prime. Suddenly, I heard the garage door rumbling open, so I dove for cover. I was practically vibrating with excitement, picturing Caden getting soaked as soon as he parked his bike. Suddenly, I heard him yell my name and I raced to him. I was totally confused because he was completely dry. I rushed over to the door to see what went wrong with my prank, and suddenly Caden swung the door open wide. I was covered in Prime from head to toe. Turns out the sneaky kid peeked at our security cameras from school and saw me setting everything up, so he used the front door instead. The moral of the story, if you're trying to prank your kid, chances are they're already 10 steps ahead and know exactly what you're planning. So my daughter has a pet rock that she never lets out of her sight, but while we were at the park, I had to change her diaper. So she handed the rock to her brother Caden so he could watch it until we came back. Caden asked me if he really had to watch it since it was just a rock. I told him yes because it was important to her. Then I took her to change her diaper. When we came back, Caden was sitting there scrolling on his phone. I asked him where the rock was and he shrugged like it wasn't a big deal and said it didn't go anywhere because it was just a rock. But when I looked around, the rock was gone. I told him to start looking for it. He tried handing his sister another rock, but as soon as she saw it, she knew it wasn't the same. Caden started running around the whole park trying to find her imaginary rock. Just when he was about to give up, he found the rock laying by the pool. Moral of the story, even if it's imaginary, you better take it seriously. So I was just eating my protein bar with barbecue sauce when I saw my son in the backyard jumping like he was being attacked. I rushed outside to see what the deal was, and he said mosquitoes were feasting on him. I wasn't about to let some bugs ruin his playtime, so I had to take action. First, I tried blasting them with Prime juice, but that was a total fail. So I grabbed an electric bug swatter, but those mosquitoes were too small to even hit. And then even more mosquitoes started showing up. I had no choice but to haul butt to Home Depot, buy a mosquito trap, and set it up in the backyard. At first, it seemed like it was working, but then the trap started attracting even more of those little bloodsuckers. I ran over to shut it down, but I tripped, knocked it over, and mosquitoes exploded everywhere. We were totally outnumbered and had to retreat inside. We watched from the window as the mosquitoes took over the backyard like they owned the place. Then Caden asked if he could just play video games instead. Comment below if you think I should have just left the mosquitoes alone in the first place. So I was just munching on my shredded cheese and pickle mix when I saw that my dog Snoop's food bowl was closed. Snoop needs to eat, so I opened it up again and went back to my snack. When I finished, the bowl was closed again. I wasn't about to let Snoop starve, so I knew I had to figure out what was going on. At first, I thought maybe it was the wind. I checked all the windows and doors, but they were totally shut. Then I thought maybe it was my daughter Kaylani, because she likes to play near it, but she doesn't know how to close it. So I opened the bowl one more time, set up a camera near it, and waited to see what would happen. A few minutes later, I saw Snoop on the camera close closing his own bowl. I put him in front of my animal translator and asked him why he's been closing his bowl, and he said,
So my food doesn't get stale.
long story short, sometimes your pet might just be smarter than you think. So I'm freaking out this morning because we're visiting family this week, and Caden lost his MacBook charger. Since he's homeschooled now, I needed to find it fast so he could do his schoolwork. First, I checked my parents' house where he's been sleeping, but no luck. Then I searched the backyard, and it wasn't there either. I decided to drive to Best Buy to buy him a new one, but they weren't open yet. Around this time, we usually take the kids to Lifetime, so I thought maybe they'd have a charger, but nope, none there either. When we got back to my parents' house, I went into the backyard to think about where his charger could be. Suddenly, I spotted the power block under the tree. I looked up and saw the cable dangling from the branches. I was totally confused about how it got up there, so I checked my parents' backyard camera and saw Caden tossing it up there. When I asked him why he did it, he admitted he was just trying to avoid doing his schoolwork. Now I'm wondering if we should put him back in school or not. What do you think?